There we go. Hello, 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 and welcome to another. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but welcome to another Thriving Thursday. I am your host. I never said host before, but I have this weird giggly smile going on today. So I'm your host, Charles Austin, the Human Diet Coach. So again, welcome to another wonderful, thriving Thursday. And tonight is, I would say, somewhat of a special milestone for me. So I'm going to be starting my first ever 24-hour fast. While this may not be big news for some folks who have been doing this for forever, it's new for me. And that's the cool thing about working in the world of improving other people's health and nutrition, helping other people be free of disease. You start to learn even more and more and more about all the ways you can improve your own health. So I'll be starting my first 24-hour fast literally now. About maybe 4 or 5 minutes ago, I had my last bite of my last meal for the next day. So I I thought no better video to make than about fasting. But again, let me do my nice formal introduction again. This is Charles Austin, the Human Diet Coach, always giving you healthy, science-backed tips so that you can live a long life free of disease. Okay, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter X at Human Diet Coach. And also, if you like this channel, you like the stuff that you see on this channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on so that you're always up to date with the latest content here. We're always uploading. There's no we, it's me. I'm always uploading and streaming the latest and greatest science-backed nutrition, health, fitness, and exercise tips, again, to make sure that y'all are at your best. So again, we're here on Thriving Thursday because I'm all about helping your health thrive. So again, starting my first 24-hour fast, and as a coach and a nutritionist for 20 years, I've been a boot camp instructor. I've been a personal fitness trainer. I've been a health educator. I've given speeches to large and small audiences. I've spoken at elementary schools and colleges, and I've done a lot of different things, but I've never done this. So I'm going to take a nice little deep dive into why anybody actually does this fasting thing. Okay, so a couple of things that we'll talk about here tonight. Again, I am an educator. I am an anatomy and physiology instructor right now. So I'm a teacher by nature. So I've been teaching people's fitness and health, and now I'm teaching to you, all the wonderful folks out there in what do they call it, internet land or whatever. So so we'll talk about what fasting is, and while it's not just not eating, okay. And we'll talk about how it actually helps with your health. And we'll talk about the metabolic switch. We'll talk about some benefits. We'll talk about how this helps you prevent disease and some of the stuff that can help you actually lose weight. So if you have never been on a stream before, you probably don't know this, but I like to get straight down to business. So that's enough yapping about me and what we're going to talk about. Let's get to the beginning and let's get to the good stuff here. So anyway, and I'm actually, look, I know I said I was going to get to the good stuff, but I'm actually like kind of geeked out about this. I'm kind of curious to see exactly what's going to happen. As I'm sure you know, everybody has a different physiology. Everybody's body is a little bit different. So people are going to have different reactions. And I'd love to see in the comments when you watch this video, if you've ever done one, tell me about your experience when you did your first 24-hour fast, right? So I'd love to hear about your experiences as well. Hey, hopefully if I inspire somebody to do their first 24-hour fast, if I'm still alive tomorrow, wink, wink, then again, please share your experiences as well. So, but anywho, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty geeked out and I'm kind of excited about this. I consider myself to be like a huge nerd, like one of the biggest nerds you'll ever meet. And so this is just another experience in the realm of science in the human body. And science in the human body is all I do all day, every day, whether I'm in my teaching capacity which hopefully one day with your wonderful support, I won't have to do that anymore. But also when I am in my actual official capacity here, science in the human body. Been doing it forever. This is all I like. But anywho, enough about me. Let's go to the information for tonight, right? So the first thing real quick, we just want to kind of do a general overview, right? Like, what is fasting? Okay, and like I said, I'm a teacher. So when you come to these lives, you're going to learn something. I'm an educator, all right? I'm a teacher, all right? In Hebrew, that word is more. I'm a more. So you're going to learn something. So anywho, what is fasting? It's basically like, look, fasting involves refraining from consuming food or caloric beverages, all right, for a set duration of time, which can range from a few hours to several days or more. So some people will fast for multiple days. Some people will fast multiple weeks. I even read about, I read a doctor, I forget his name, and I couldn't even pronounce it if I wanted to. But he was talking about a client that he had that was morbidly obese. We're talking, several hundred pounds over where they should be at a healthy weight. And I believe the number was I believe that the number was, let's see, 16 weeks. I can't remember. It was at least a few months. The point is, it was for a very extended period of time, and they didn't have anything. Now, this was under medical supervision. And the patient actually lost so much weight. And the cool thing about that story was the patient didn't have like that flimsy, saggy skin look that some folks will get when they lose a lot of weight because their body literally just went back to where it was supposed to be. It ate away at all the fat. But anyway, fasting again is just not consuming calories, right? So again, it's not necessarily about starvation. But it's basically giving your body a digestion break. So over the last few months, I want to say maybe since December, for me personally, I started doing daily 12-hour fasts. Maybe November. I don't remember when I started. It's been some months now, but I started doing daily 12 to 14-hour fasts. And I started working out in the morning on no calories. And boy, the muscle gain and the tone and definition that I've noticed, the body fat reduction is amazing. And this is for somebody that was already fit. So just imagine what this can do for somebody who needs to make a big change, right? So again, it's about giving your body a digestion break. And it's allowing your regular processes to kind of be at their best. Okay, so people fast for a lot of different reasons, whether it's spiritual growth, right? I think Ramadan is one of those that you probably heard of where folks will fast. I think it's only during the day they can't have anything. But anyway, that's one thing. So depending on your spirituality, mental clarity, we're going to see how that goes. I got some training I got to do tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes, how my brain works. Weight management, metabolic health, and longevity. And for me, it's the longevity. That's my main goal. So if you didn't know, why does Charles Austin, the human diet coach, preach this plants-only diet, and why does he preach, the exercise and now talking about fasting? It's because I want to meet my great-grandchildren. That's literally my goal. So one of the things I always tell my clients when we get started in the beginning is you need to figure out your why. You need to figure out your why. If you don't know your why behind anything that you're doing, you're going to fail. And that's not trying to be negative. It's just the truth. I've been doing this for 20 years. And for the folks that are very, very clear about why they're here, why they go to the gym, why they're trying this diet or whatever, they're successful. For the ones that are just doing it for whatever, they don't make it. So my why is longevity. Okay. So that's basically the what is fasting. Okay. So let's go over some of the top 5 benefits. All right. So that's what's on my little thumbnail here. The top 5 benefits of fasting. Right. So let's go over some of those benefits. So got my notes here. That's one thing. You see me looking all over the place. I got screen over here. I got a note here. I got a note there. I don't really go off the top of the dome, okay? And if there's ever a question, if I ever get a Q&A question and I don't know what the answer is, I'm going to look it up. I don't give you false information. I don't care if I don't know something. We're going to find out together. But anywho, where's my list? I thought I had my list here. Give me 1 second, y'all. Got to do, oh, here we go. All right. So getting into those top 5 benefits. Okay, so the first benefit of fasting is what we call cellular. All right. The first one is called cellular autophagy. Okay. Cellular autophagy. So as it says up here, autophagy is basically your body's process of reusing old and damaged cell parts, as it says right here. So cells, as you heard this in school, cells are your basic building blocks of every tissue, yada, yada, yada. And over time, they stop working, they become damaged, they get old, and they have to get out. Okay, so autophagy is your body's regular way of expelling them. So when you take a poo, number 2, feces, when you have a bowel movement, a lot of the stuff that's in your stool is old cells that your body naturally has to get rid of. And sidebar real quick, you should definitely check out my video on what is cancer. Okay. Because what we're talking about here is the normal process, autophagy. With cancer, this process is interrupted. This process doesn't really happen. And this is how cancer develops. So you can look at this as an anti-cancer. Procedure or process as well, versus just saying this is about losing weight or whatever. Okay, autophagy has to happen, and so when you talk about cancer, it doesn't happen. But anyway, so that's what autophagy is. So basically, when you're fasting, it helps trigger this process and make it a little bit more efficient. Okay, so your body is not necessarily focused on digesting any food now. Okay, so there's no energy, there's nothing going on with I got to make sure I'm digesting food or focusing on processing anything, developing a bowel movement or anything. Nope. We can clean up the body a little bit, and this is one of the ways it does it, through increasing the autophagy process. So the next one is something that's probably very important for diabetics, and that's going to be improved insulin sensitivity, right? So, and again, this, my most Cleveland Clinic, we're here looking at John Hopkins medicine. No, I don't want these cookies. Get out of here. I don't want cookies. No, they're off. Confirm my choices. Get out of here. So we're talking about type 2 diabetes. Now, as it says here, in animal studies, intermittent fasting prevented obesity. But also, when we're talking about studies with obese adult humans, right, they lost weight through fasting. So we talked about that already. I got to find the guy's name now, because I got to shout him out, because he's one of the I'm going to find the video for y'all, and I'm going to shout him out and you may have heard of him. He's very popular online. And he was very instrumental in me learning about fasting. But anyway, I'll do that, save that for later. But again, people with type 2 diabetes may benefit. Most available research shows that intermittent fasting, and we're talking about fasting, can help people lose body weight and lower their levels of fasting glucose. Okay, so every time you eat something, your body's going to turn into glucose. Believe it or not, even if you eat a steak, which I don't recommend, your body's going to turn into glucose. Okay, glucose is the body's energy source. It's always going to turn into glucose, and whatever you don't use in glucose is going to get stored as fat. Your body doesn't really store protein. Okay, that's not how that works. So you use protein, okay, but your body stores fat and glycogen, aka carbs. So every time you eat, your body's going to try to turn whatever you eat into glucose. And what that does is increase the levels of glucose in your bloodstream. Okay, so when you're not eating, when you don't have anything in your system, your fasting glucose, it goes down. And whenever your glucose levels go down, you don't have to use as much insulin. Okay, so now your body's better at managing that insulin glucose balance. Okay, and this is less of a load on your pancreas, which is good if you're somebody who suffers from type 2 diabetes. So two benefits down. Let's go to number 3 real quick. Okay, so benefit number 3 is going to be enhanced brain-derived neurotropic factor. Okay, so where'd it go? Yes. All right, so improved brain function. Okay, so intermittent fasting has shown to increase brain-derived neurotropic factor, a protein that is important for brain function and may protect against neurodegenerative diseases. Okay, so real quick, what is, where is it at? Yeah, so what is BDNF? Because I don't want to keep saying brain-derived neurotropic factor for the rest of this video. BDNF is a key molecule involved in plastic changes related to learning and memory. So all we're talking about when we say plastic changes, they're basically trying to describe how your nerves and your nerve cells and your neurons in your brain, they are basically moldable. They can be, if you had a piece of clay, consider your brain kind of like a mold of clay, and you can mold it into whatever it is that you want. And so these plastic changes related to learning and memory are enhanced when you have healthy BDNF. Okay. So again, this is a study here. What was this? This is the British. What is this? I think this is British. Anywho, I forget the name of it. But anywho, in this study, when they were studying the effect of fasting on BDNF, we were just at the results page a second ago. And like I said, I like to read studies, y'all. Like all the time. Studies. Peer-reviewed studies. And now I can't even get to the point to where I wanted to get to. I was there a second ago. No! Where did it go? I was just there on the page and I had to go scroll up and try to find the name of it. There we go. That's where I wanted to be. So the conclusion said the review found that fasting and calorie restriction diets generally increase BDNF levels. So while other dietary interventions showed inconsistent effort. So the point is you can try other things, but fasting is clear. If you want to improve your brain function, your learning, your memory, you should fast from time to time. And personally, this is going to be my first of a monthly fast. I'm going to do this once a month to start at the end of the month. At the end of every month, I'm going to look at it like a cleanup. For whatever I did for that entire month, we're going to clean everything up at the end of the month. So every month towards the end, whatever that last Friday is or whatever, the last Friday, Saturday, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get that fast in. So that's benefit number 3. Let's go to benefit number 4 so we can get ready to wrap this thing up here, okay? So benefit number 4. Now, my favorite organ, the one that's in your chest, your ticker, your thumper, okay? Benefit number 4 is heart health and inflammation reduction, okay? So here we go. So again, we're talking about fasting again on heart health. So decreased inflammation is big, okay, which lowers your risk for conditions like coronary artery disease, which is the #1 cause of death on planet Earth, and also diabetes. It helps lower your blood pressure, lower your triglycerides, and it also improves your healthy cholesterol. So again, this is associated with the fact that now what your body is doing is it's eating away and it's burning the things up that it wouldn't normally be using if you were eating regularly. And so now also your body is doing less work. Okay. The digestion process is heavy. People don't realize how much energy goes through in digestion. Okay. So blood pressure is associated with digestion. Okay, but when your body's not digesting anything, hey, now your heart can chill out a little bit. It can kind of calm down and relax a little bit more than it would normally. So again, we have, what do we say? Decreased inflammation. Yeah, that's the other thing. So now this is part of the cleanup process. So whatever's in your body that could possibly clog up your arteries, clog up any of your blood vessels, now we can get that stuff out of the body, which improves your heart function. The better your heart function, the lower your blood pressure. Okay. So again, that's 4 benefits. Did we do 4 already? Yes. Cool. And it's kind of cool that number 4 is heart health because it's for the 4 heart chambers. All right. Your 2 atria and your ventricles. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. I love the heart. It's crazy because just in school, in my class just the other day, just yesterday, we literally dissected hearts. And my students didn't know this, but that was the first time I had ever done a heart dissection myself. And so I'm in there geeking out because, it was a sheep's heart. And that's the part that kind of, they always ask me, they say, where did you get the heart from? And I'm like, I don't know. It's, they have companies that source these things and schools have contracts with them and you can get specimens and things like that. So on the one hand, yeah, it's cool because you get to see, and a sheep's heart is basically the same size of a human heart. So you're literally like holding a human's heart, not really, but in your hand. And it was so cool to see that the change. It looks just like our heart. Like it's almost like you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And it was cool to stick your fingers through like the different chambers and see it come out because that's where the blood goes, and it was cool. So anyway, 4 chambers, number 4. But let's go ahead and go to number 5. Number 5 is going to be the HGH, the human growth hormone boost. Okay, so reject all, leave me alone. So this is and you know what? One thing I forgot to mention. Okay, it was right here. This is the B. Remember we were talking about BDNF real quick. This is the whole metabolic shift thing. Okay, and so normally again your body runs on glucose. Okay, normally your body runs on glucose, but when you deprive it of glucose, now it has to find something else to burn. Okay, and here it is right here. This is the shift. Okay, so you have to burn something else for fuel. So after about 8 to 12 hours without food, your liver starts breaking down fat into molecules called ketones. And this is where you get the ketogenic diet and stuff, which you're not supposed to be on a ketogenic diet long term. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. This is something that you want to do from time to time. This is why for normal people that are we're not talking about morbid obesity. We're not talking 600-pound life. We're not talking freaking 1,000-pound roomies or whatever else they got out there. We're not talking about that. If you're just somebody who is just a little bit overweight, 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50 pounds, you don't need to be on a ketogenic diet for extended periods of time. This is something that you can do 12 to 14 hours at a day. Again, newsflash, educational purposes only. Don't sue me. Nah. But these are things that you can do 12, 14 hours a day. And again, your occasional 24-hour fast. So the people who do this for months and months and months, and they're generally healthy, and they just need to clean up their health, they need to make a few changes, this stuff becomes dangerous. But anyway, your liver starts breaking down fats, and these are called into molecules called ketones. And then your brain basically starts using them. So this is that shift that I mentioned that I forgot to mention earlier. So instead of using glucose, carbohydrates as your primary fuel, your brain says, hey, I love these ketones. Let me eat those up. And it can kind of help with your mental clarity. Now, again, you can't run on this forever. This is a sometimes thing. All right. And just to clear this up, just to be very clear, I want to make sure I'm clear about this. And so this is how, like I said, this is your brain's preferred fuel source. Okay, and this is like so many people are out there saying, "Oh, the brain doesn't need glucose. You don't need carbs and all that." These people don't know what they're talking about. Don't listen to these people unless they're giving you science-based data that's been tested multiple times, over and over again. So again, the point is your brain's primary fuel source is glucose. Okay, and this is a simple sugar derived from carbohydrates. It uses the most glucose, I think, in the whole body. Okay, but anyway, so that's the metabolic shift. You go from using carbohydrates for energy, and now you're using ketones for energy, and your brain says, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing." But anyway, let's get to the last one, which we were talking about a second ago. The last, number 5, the fifth benefit here is going to be your growth hormone. Okay, so when glucose levels drop, while insulin sensitivity improves, it prompts the body to shift from burning glucose to using fat for energy as a result. So this is a part of the shift too. So there's 2 shifts. I couldn't remember if it was on this one or the other one. But anyway, as a result, growth hormone rises, aiding in fat loss and tissue repair. And tissue repair is the one that's super important. Most people only focus on gotta lose weight, gotta lose. Listen, if you lift weights and you eat plants and you go to sleep, you'll lose weight. It's not that complicated. Lifting weights is better for weight loss than cardio. Newsflash, okay? Check out my video on why you can't lose weight. Check that video out, and it'll break down the whole thing. But so if you do those things, you're going to lose weight anyway. So you don't need to worry about, oh, I got to try all these specific things. I got to try this. I got to try that. If you lift weights, if you go to sleep, if you eat plants, if you drink water and you get rid of all the junk, you're going to lose weight. So again, tissue repair is super important because our bodies go through all kind of things every day. If you lift weights, like I was just talking about a second ago, you're going to be breaking down muscle tissue. So if you do lift weights, you're going to need that tissue repair. But our bodies have to repair themselves regularly. That's why sleep is so important, and that is also why fasting is important as well, because we have a boost in our growth hormone, which can help with tissue repair anyway. So there's so many benefits. These are only 5. There's more than just this, y'all. But again, we're also talking about reducing inflammation and strengthening your disease resistance. We talked about this a little while ago with anti-cancer, getting rid of that old cells, the old, dirty, tired, worn out cells, which is anti-cancer. So that's it, y'all. That's the 5 benefits of fasting. So like I said, and I told you I wanted to pull up. I wonder if I can find this guy for y'all. Because I don't care where you get your information from. You know, get it from me. But at the same time, now look, I can't say his name. I can't say his name. So I'm going to pop it up here so you can see. Dr. Pradeep Jamnadas. I don't know if that's right, but check this guy out, man. Great information on fasting. He taught me a lot. I watch his stuff all the time. So I don't agree with everything, but again, everybody's a little bit different on different approaches for health and life. But great information on fasting. So definitely check that out. So shout out to him. He helped me out a lot. So anywho, so still finishing up the book. We'll be releasing that title real soon. And I will let you know first. You are the audience, so I will let you know first. So let's see. Let's pull the chat up real quick to see if there's any Q&A. Where's my chat? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. All right. I'm going to wait here for like literally 60 seconds. And if I don't get anything in the chat, then I'm going to bid y'all farewell. And I'm basically almost through my first hour of 24. Like I literally finished my last bite of food at 6:55. I literally finished it at 6:55. So I said I was going to go 7 to 7, but technically, if I get hungry enough, I can eat at 6:55. I can definitely eat at 6:55. And tell you what I'm going to do, since we talked about cell autophagy tonight, since we talked about that, and I said, hey, check out my video on what is cancer. Tell you what, I'm gonna put 2 links up, and so that way, I'm gonna put one in here right now. This one is about how cancer kills. So again, the first benefit we talked about, the benefits of fasting, we talked about cell autophagy, which was your cells, your body cleaning out old cells and dirty cells and tired cells that it doesn't need. And literally, cancer is the exact opposite. So when you have cancer, when you develop cancer, it's literally the cells that are not going away that should go away. So you can look at fasting as another anti-cancer. But the one I wanted to pull up was, what is cancer? Here it is. Yeah, what is cancer? Ooh, I had that a while ago. My hair is so short in this video. Let's copy that one. We're going to put that one into the chat too. There we go. They're up there. All right, no questions in the chat. No Q&A tonight. But at the end of every video, if there's a Q&A about anything, it doesn't have to be about what we talked about tonight, even though we talked about fasting. But if it's about how do I do this what's the best exercise to do this, or what kind of food for this, or how do I burn belly fat, or what's the best weight loss, blah, 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 or whatever it could be, you drop it in the chat, or if it's after the video goes off, put the comment in there. I'll get a notification. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. But anyway, like I said, I'll be releasing the book title real soon. We're going to be doing pre-orders. Like I said, I put it out there in the ether. We're going to be releasing in spring. All right. So that means before May, because spring is that April time, that March, April time. So we're right around the corner. I think March is coming up. So that means I got about 6 weeks to get this finished. And we're pretty much at the end. So once that happens, well, I'll let you know. But again, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter X at Human Diet Coach. Subscribe to the channel here and turn your notifications on so you're always up to date with the latest content here on the channel. I'll see y'all next Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Until then, Charles.